Alright, so I met with the lady from Live this morning, and I'm supposed to go see her again on Friday. And I met the lady from Peak Wellness, or spoke with her again today. She had to get a special requisition, and that requisition was for $7. That way she could get my arrest record from Larimer County. The problem is, it's not my arrest record that's needed. I tried explaining to her the process since I went through it up in Washington State, that they can't do anything until we get a hold of them and let them know which jail it is that I was at and when I was released, and then they get a hold of the jail and find out if I was released, and if I was indeed released, then they can give me my disability back. But this lady that I'm working with, she's never done this before. So even though this is the second time out of our 2 appointments that I've explained it to her, she doesn't quite get it. I'm used to that. People don't really want to listen to the person who's got the experience. They just want to have it their own way in their own head. It's not my arrest record that we should be after. And then there's the other complication of not having a mailbox. So, the lady from Live that I talked to this morning, it's spelled L-I-V, she was trying to help me come up with ways to get a mailbox. She's like, do you have $30 for a P.O. box? I'm like, no. She wants to know if I have a friend in the area that might be able to let me use their address. I don't know about that. I'll have to ask. She wanted me to go to the Camilla shelter, because if you're there long enough, then they'll eventually let you use their address. This is all stuff that just stretches everything out and makes it take longer. It's because of all the red tape like this that it's so impossible for somebody who's disabled to get any actual help. It also depends on the disability. I mean, you see somebody in a wheelchair struggling to get uphill, you go and help them, right? You see somebody with Asperger's who's shutting down, or even somebody who just has panic attacks. You see them shutting down, you pounce on them like jackals. Like, because you can't see it, it must mean that they're faking it, or it must mean that it's not real, or some crazy crap like that. It's kind of like evidence, you know. I did my best to try to show people evidence, but kept on getting me Facebook banned. So I have to worry about posting up evidence, which is stupid. I wouldn't have had to do things the way that I did them if I'd have had the help that I needed instead of the help the people assumed that I needed. What the fuck is Peak Wellness gonna do with my arrest record? I got a video of it, of course. That way I can review it. We don't need my arrest record. I was there when the woman made the phone call. It's not complicated. It becomes complicated when you assume somebody is retarded or incorrect. Meanwhile, they're telling you how it is, and you still have it your own way in your own head. It's complicated. So, I believe this woman does care. I believe that she's a decent person. It's just that You can't tell people that you're autistic or their brains turn off and they automatically know better than you even though you've been through it. Pretty much everybody's like this, and you try to teach them about autism and they do stuff like my dad does. He finds out little stuff like the freeze loop. It's like, oh, well, that makes everything Sean's fault, so I'm just going to keep throwing freeze loop at him. Meanwhile, my dad's stuck in the freeze loop. Well, rather, he's got it stuck in his head that it's a certain way and it's set in stone, and there's nothing you're going to do to change it. That's why people's help doesn't help. Like those people who wanted to say that they spoke with me, that I've never had a conversation with them. People like Sarah Miller. I never spoke with her. I was having a panic attack from all the people texting, and I needed people to actually converse with me. Meanwhile, that woman got all sorts of pissed off at me. She gave me her phone number. I called it. The dude on the other end was a dick for no reason. Like, what the hell did I do to this bastard? And that was way last year. I asked her and that Layla Johnson lady to get a hold of me because both of them were speaking for me. Obviously, neither one of them had a right to speak for me. But they did anyway. So they got a lot of things wrong, especially Layla. Like, all she would do is text me. And there was so much stuff that she got wrong because all she would do is text. Like, yeah, you're taking things wrong because it's in typing, so try listening. We did have it worked out where she could type and I could call and talk to her. That way she'd know what's going on. But she never followed through. She never answered her phone. And I don't mean literally never, but I do mean like in the few months where she was trying to help me, we talked once. It wasn't very long. And she seemed very, what's the word? Unopen to conversing. So I guess that's the best way to say it. Unopen to conversing. And that created a lot of complications for me. And none of these people care that that's hurtful to me. Meanwhile, I'm trying to be respectful of her and only text her because she won't answer. So I end up doing all of these things to try to appease these people who are trying to help me, who aren't actually helping me because they're not actually listening. Murica, huh?